I'd like to speak about the Japanese Labor Standards Law, and specifically its effect on female teachers. The Japanese Labor Standards Law sets the guidelines for employees' pay, including overtime pay. This law was updated in 1971, specifically excluding public school teachers from the standard overtime pay scheme. As a result, teachers' salaries have been capped at the total of their base salary for 40 hours of work per week, plus 4%. This 4% was based on the average overtime hours worked by teachers in 1971. So how does this formula fare today? Well, the international average for teachers' working hours is 38.3 hours per week. But in Japan, teachers work 53.9 hours per week on average. In secondary education, the story gets worse. On average, junior high school teachers work 63 hours, 18 minutes per week. 60% of junior high school teachers work over 80 hours of overtime per month. So what are the teachers doing in all that time? They have the expected classes to teach and lessons to prepare, but also many other tasks. Most schools are only budgeted to have one office staff, so the administrative and clerical duties often fall on the teachers. Also, teachers are expected to clean the building and outdoor spaces around the school. In this way, the schools and the government save a lot of money. That is a benefit of the Labor Standards Law exemption for teachers. As you can imagine, this is a stressful situation for all teachers. But let's think about the impact on female teachers and motherhood specifically. Studies show that in Japan, by far the number one reason women drop out of the workforce after childbirth is that working hours make childcare unfeasible. The Child Care and Family Care Leave Law obliges employers to reduce working hours to 6 a day in principle for those taking care of children under 3 years old. But according to the Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare, there are no penalties for organizations that breach the obligation. What would you do if facing the choice many Japanese female teachers must make? Some women avoid motherhood. The birth rate in Japan is already in decline, causing a smaller tax base, smaller population pools for insurance and pension, and a decreased voice for Japan on the world stage. Of course, this has the added environmental benefit of fewer humans consuming natural resources. Many women, however, choose to become mothers and then drop out of the workforce. What is the impact of this phenomenon on education? Well, there are fewer mothers among teachers as a whole. This results in a loss of a valuable perspective among the teaching staff. It is a lack of diversity. This also narrows the pool of talented teachers. Pulling mothers out of schools results in few women advancing into higher administrative and leadership positions. There are fewer female role models for young girls and boys. What does this system project to a young girl who hardly sees any female leaders in her school? I would argue this depresses the positive outlook girls could have on their own career and advancement. According to the Ministry of Education, Culture, Sport, Science, and Technology, in 2015, women made up 62.3% of the elementary school teaching force, but only 19% of school principals. This difference is even more exaggerated in secondary schools, where women made up only 6.8% of junior high school and high school principals. I hope you can see how the lack of overtime pay for teachers and their extraordinary working hours create an untenable situation, forcing many mothers out of the teaching profession altogether. This is detrimental to students, schools, and the community at large.